Hi guys, it's me, TONIK TZW. Bit of a longer intro on this one because we all know that content creators, we all like to put our biggest, best games out there and show how awesome we are. But unlike many content creators, I also share what I call my spud runs. And it's games where I'm playing a particular ship that I'm maybe not familiar with, and end up becoming a cropper. But I learn from those mistakes. And I have a couple of examples because I bumped into a couple of CCs. The first being Tommyboy601, a very good player. He's here in the Elbing. He's not spotted yet, but he's going to be. There he is. And I'm using my team to be effective and get rid of him. He is going to get some good hits on me, but I've got those heals on the Lucian, and I know his torpedoes are coming. I waited until that cap was being taken before popping that sonar, knowing full well that there were going to be torpedoes coming through. But I'm looking at the map, and you see that behind me, coming round the back of the island, is a radar cruiser, and I'm calling them for help. Now, I've only got 45 seconds left on this sonar, so knowing that he's behind there, there's also a Carl Johan the 14th behind there, so I have to be wary of the secondaries from that battleship. But we're going to push in, use our sonar, use our teammates to help us get rid of these guys early on. This turned into a resounding win. I do have the full video, which I might put on a later date, because we only played this cap and Bravo cap in the center, but we did a pretty solid job of it and pulled a couple of little party tricks out. So I'm holding this guy in sonar, and I mistakenly tell that guy to get back instead of him calling him and saying, I need your support. The sonar runs down, but the Carl Johan the 14th is spotted, and I'm just waiting, creeping forward slowly. Elbing must have fired his guns. So here we go. We've got AP loaded because we know that the Elbing is like a mini cruiser. The Carl Johan the 14th disappears behind the island, which means that his secondaries are no use to Tommy Boy now, and we are going to run out on him, and we're going to go AP, and we're going to use this rapid reload on the Lucian, angle away from him, heading away from any torpedoes, and just keep laying it on. And that's him out of the game. Not a first blood. And then this is a beautiful dev strike on the defense. So if you've got the defense, don't do this with it, because that is a massive hit. But look behind him. It's none other than Metajerk. And this guy had been stalking me for a considerable amount of this game, and knowing how good Metajerk is in his cruisers, I was being very, very wary. But he's got fire start, and he's got those long-range torpedoes, and RNG was completely against me on this one until this point where I land a beautiful Citadel shot on him. But he disappears behind. He's going to get me on fire. But as we come round, we push him. We come round the next island. He's there. He's broadside. I'm expecting torpedoes. So I'm not going to continue sailing out broadside. But again, I'm looking at the minimap. I'm looking at the team. There's a cruiser and a battleship pushing. There's a destroyer on the cap. And as I said, expecting torpedoes coming. There they are. I think we're going to manage to slip through the middle of these. We could have potentially afforded to take one of those, not quite sure. But Metajerk has now got himself pinned behind an island. He knows that I'm out here on his right side. There's a destroyer in the cap there. He's getting fired at by the cruisers. So using play and position, we've trapped him. He's got nowhere to go. He's running his sonar. He's going to back up here, and I know that he's probably thinking, am I dumb enough to keep pushing around this corner so that he can put torpedoes on me? The answer to that question is no, I'm not that dumb, because I know that I've got support, and I know he can't move anywhere. And literally, he's going to be dealt with. Those torpedoes are running. Even though he's got his sonar running, there's nowhere he can go, and Metajerk is going to disappear out of the game. There we go. So just goes to show that even the best players at the best of times don't always have the best of games. Same goes for me, which is why I'm putting this one out there. You've seen a lot of Krakens this week. Believe it or not, I've still got more Krakens to put on. But this is the build that I'm running on the Brisbane, and the Commander in Inspirations. I have no idea if it's the best, if it's the meta, or how great it actually is, or whether or not there's something much better out there. But I just thought I would pick and choose something that would suit my play style. Now, we're obviously at legendary tier. This thing does not take a hit well, as I will discover much later in the game. But there's going to be some terrible moves from a couple of players. And I'll point out, if I remember, when I watched this video back, I realized the moment that I made a mistake, but it was after watching other mistakes happen. So, not having played the ship much, I'm looking there at what my torpedo range is. And we've got one destroyer on our team. It's a Giran. The destroyer on their team is a Shimikaze. And yeah, you'd think the Giran would be able to hunt that Shima and get rid of it. Believe it or not, I think a battleship is going to take care of that Shimikaze. But our Giran seems to be allergic to capture points, and potentially, had he gone in and taken a few capture points and not made one of the most potato destroyer plays I've ever seen in my 20,500 games in World of Warship Legends, I mean, literally to the point that I was shaking my head and telling him to get the hell away from where he was. Now you'll see that he hasn't gone to B. He's not even headed towards Charlie Cap. He's following the battleships around the back of the island. Now I can't remember if there's radar out there because I didn't look at the team sheet before the match started, which is something that I always do. I generally pop open the map screen at the start, have a look at the team sheet, know what I'm up against, who's got radar, who's got torpedoes. There's a Minotaur, and we know that he is a nasty little SOB. Ship or boat, not son of a, you know what I mean. And I'm debating, yeah, just firing, but we do get spotted. So I'm thinking, is there something out there other than the Minotaur? Now, there's a good chance that he's put torpedoes towards that capture point, but there we go. Christopher Colombo. Don't want to be on the receiving end of that, but there's also an Alaska there. So we've got 3 ships spotted, and I decide that I am going to push around and try and get on a flank, flush these guys out from behind their little islands, because it's something that I hate to see in any game when people just camp behind the islands. And I have got a little bit of support coming round with me, but nobody wants to push in. Our destroyer still has made it nowhere near the capture point, and it's like, you know, come on, red team have already got 1 cap. There's their, I think it's their destroyer spotted heading for Bravo cap. We're going to be 2 caps down. If this gearing is to do anything, he should be getting on Charlie now and then looking at pushing that Shimikaze on Bravo and getting rid of him as well. Now, my mate Chops loves the Brisbane. He told me it's a great ship to play, and after this match, I'm inclined to believe that and say, yes, I agree, because I was in no way expecting having the game that I did out of this one. I've literally played, I think, a handful of matches. And when I say a handful, I do literally mean like single digits, you know. And we've got this Alaska spotted. We're going to put some torpedoes out across there, because if he's going to sail in and pull in behind that island, then it's a good opportunity that he might actually sail into those. But there's a battleship unspotted at the back, and I know that the Christopher Colombo was spotted. This thing is quite agile. It's it plays, I want to say, a little bit like a Minotaur, but with AP and HE, as well as longer range torpedoes. Plus we have the sonar and the smokes. But there we go. We hold of him in spot. Everybody's railing on him. We get fired, or we get spotted as we fire our guns. But very high arcs on this. Very floaty shells. And it actually surprised me at the height of the arc on these shells. as we're wailing on this Alaska. I'm thinking surely somebody else can have him spotted at the same time. No, they haven't, so we're just going to continue to blind fire. But there is the Christopher Colombo, just goes out of range. He is going to have top spot for his team, and it was well deserved, I think, because he was absolutely panning things off the map. Short of a Kraken, and our Alaska almost, if there'd been a little bit more time, I think would have given him a Kraken. But there's the Alaska burning down. I've had to pull out of my smoke to get this guy spotted because I'm thinking nobody else can really see anything on this side of the map. I'm going to have to do what I can to pile on the pressure. But look, low health ship, legendary tier, you know what's going to happen. Of course you know what's going to happen. Even though he's burning out, somebody's going to do a full send on him seconds before he dies, and they are going to take the kill. Congratulations for your contribution and effort. So I get a fisting from Wargaming for a kill assist, even though I probably did 99% of the damage to that guy, and I'm swinging it back around and pushing back in. Our destroyer has now taken Charlie Cap, and he is pushed back. Sorry, getting a little bit closer to the TV, just look at the minimap. But he's sat on Charlie Cap, and he is pushing back over, and I'm thinking, is he putting torpedoes through Bravo Cap? Somebody's holding these Navarans and the Montana spotted, and as you can see, look, even this huge island that's there, I can get shots across. I am spotted, and I don't know who that is at the moment, but I'm expecting shots coming in on me because these guys can't see me. So am I spotted from behind? There's a smoke screen there. Is it the Shima? Yes, it is. The Shima's spotting, and watch this. The battleship is going to come in behind that Shima because I have no idea what our gearing was doing, but these shells are way too floaty to be even getting there before the Shima disappears to a Yamato. But our Yamato is going to push into the cap straight in front of two Navarans who I believe are in division, and the Montana. We lose the Roan, who is the guy that sniped that kill from us at the start on the Alaska. I'm not spotted anymore, so I'm thinking it's HE time, it's fire damage. I don't actually think that I used AP in this one, to be honest. So I'm sorry, I can't give you a review on how hard the AP hits. But there is the Christopher Colombo again. We think about taking a shot, but we decide that we want to turn and go dark. Risky business here, turning broadside to the Christopher Colombo. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a pleasant experience had he fired in my direction, but we lost the Yamato that pushed into B, and look at the position of the gearing now. Okay, that gearing is sat waiting behind an island for these battleships to push in. This is a YOLO torp move. I knew what he was thinking before he probably even set that up. He's thinking of a YOLO torp, come out, bag himself 2 legendary battleships with full torps. We're reliant on other members of the team to be spotting here because this guy is just sat parked behind the island. You are no use to man nor beast where you are, and you're going to prove your incapability because you're going to see one of the dumbest moves in the history of wargaming, at least since your last match. But as I said, we all have good games, we all have bad games, and I'm actually shooting into the side of a mountain here, waiting for this Montana to push a little bit further forward. We are getting shells across the top. This island now is blocking our shots, but that looks like another fire on the Montana. He was already kicking. Teams are even, but we're losing this on points because of the cap. We've got an Alaska all the way across there on Alpha. I want to say, I don't know what he's doing. I know he's got a cruiser against him as we burn out the Montana, and here we go. Now that we've got the Navaran spotted, look, the destroyer has pulled out from behind his island. He's going for full torpedoes, but 2 battleships, 2 sets of secondaries. That guy is going to get smashed off the map, something ridiculous. Doesn't even get both sets of torpedoes off. He gets 1 set of torpedoes off. That's how quickly he was dealt with. Now, I'm reliant on everybody else to spawn at the moment because I've just run another smoke screen. You'll see that there is a battleship that pushed straight round past me. He is heading after the Christopher Colombo. The Alaska is finally pushing in to Alpha Cap, and now I'm in a situation where literally I am useless, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. In this position where I am now, in a smoke screen, I am absolutely useless because we can't put any fire onto Red Team. That battleship is also going to make a horrible mistake. The Navarin is burning. We managed to get some shots off. I get blind fired in the smoke. Luckily, I'm already moving, and we are going to keep piling the pressure on that guy. There is another Navarin there. I know there is. I just can't see him at the moment. But HE on this guy, we're looking for more fires. We're twisting, we're turning, we're rolling that smoke out, and yeah, torpedoes flying through that gap. We're going to put the other side out there as well, and we get a torpedo hit on that guy, which I think is the second Navarin. But now we are spotted, and I'm thinking, who am I spotted by? No, my smoke screen has dissipated. There's that Navarin at the rear. He's going to take another torpedo and a flood, and he is going to continue to tick. So we want to add to that with a fire as the battleship takes a snipey shot. He's got the Christopher Colombo straight in front of him, and I didn't believe this. But, I mean, taking that guy out with a ram would have been better than doing what he's doing now, turning broadside. But this is where I'm going to make my mistake, because we got torpedoes going across at that Navarin. We kill his division buddy, and I'm thinking, have I got torps up? No, I haven't. Can we get a fire on this guy? Is that battleship going to deal with the Colombo? We are starting to pull it back. The Alaska is still sat in A cap, literally still all the way over there, and I'm just thinking, what is going on here? That guy has traded pretty much, well, he's traded all of his hit points now, and all I can think of was that guy was trying to get in close for secondary hits or torpedo hits. I am spotted. There's no point in me doing much else now. Now, what I should have done a couple of minutes earlier is, instead of turning out and going towards that Christopher Colombo, I think I should have gone the direction I'm going now and dropped behind the island, and then come around behind the Navarin and been going away from him, and hoped that something better came of it. But that guy, I think, is too clever to think about coming around the corner. He's on the cap. He knows they've got this one on points if they stay alive. And I'm thinking, come on, we get a high caliber. 175,000 damage there. A big game for me damage wise, and I think I fought this ship as hard as I possibly could. But here we go, secondaries on from the Navarin. I've got to turn out from his main guns, but in doing so, I'm going to give him out too much of a broadside to the Christopher Colombo. We take a hit off the Navarin. We haven't got a heal up, but this guy is going to put shells our way. There we go. He's waited for the turn. He's done a really good job of it. He's going to wait until I'm dead to damage control those fires. Otherwise, we could have kept him burning and had over, I think, easily over a 200k game there. But here's our Alaska, who has managed to turn B cap. He has got 2 solo caps, and you all know how much XP caps are worth. So remember that for the end game results. Now he is going to sail out flat broadside to potentially a Christopher Colombo and the Navarin, and I think the only thing that is going to save him from becoming the Kraken kill for the Christopher Colombo is the fact that the clock ticks down as he rounds that corner. I end up with 2 kills, 190k, high caliber and a witherer. We get some cap resets there, 17 fires, but there we go, 1756 on a defeat, which would have been around 2700 on a win. But the Alaska only beats us by like 50 XP, but he has 2 solo caps to his name. Makes you wonder what was going on. Would have been great to have had him in the fight a little bit later on. But there we go. That is what I call a spud run. Just goes to show that we don't all have great games. Even the best of the best and the CCs occasionally have bad games too. Smash the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and as always, until next time, take care of yourselves and goodbye.